Hey guys, welcome to today's RSAT training course. We've got a lot to cover. We're really excited to have you here, so let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start with the introduction. The purpose of the RSAT course is to gain the knowledge and skills to responsibly provide same-day delivery of alcohol in New South Wales. This can be done in several ways. We want to prevent alcohol-related harms such as physical injuries or liver disease. We want to identify intoxication, such as recognizing stumbling or slurring of speech. We want to refuse service and supply to certain customers. This could mean checking the ID of someone who appears to be under the age of 25 years, just to confirm that they are over the age of 18 years. And we want to prevent underage service and supply to minors. A minor is someone who is under the age of 18 years old. Okay, let's talk about today's training objectives. The RSAT will refresh some familiar knowledge and skills gained from the RSA course. This is because the RSAT can be viewed as an extension of the RSA, except that the focus of the RSAT is the same day supply of alcohol in New South Wales, that being the same day delivery and supply of alcohol in New South Wales. While there are common areas between both courses, RSAT does have certain areas that are individual to RSAT alone. We will get more into that as we continue today's course. Some of the objectives we will cover today are legal obligations and compliance, strategies and best practice for delivery of alcohol, customers to whom delivery should be refused, and how to supply alcohol responsibly. All right, so that's our introduction. We know what to expect for today's course. So let's head into section 1, legal obligations and compliance. You're probably wondering, when and why would I need my RSAT? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about RSAT training. Holding your RSAT is mandatory for workers who wish to deliver same-day alcohol to consumers in New South Wales. So holding your RSAT could mean you operate a delivery service provider, are an agent, or a delivery driver. However, there are many job roles where an RSAT would be required for the person providing same-day supply of alcohol in New South Wales. So here are some examples. Just keep in mind though that these are not the only job roles where you might need an RSAT. There could be many others. So you could be a licensed takeaway provider that offers supply of alcohol, food delivery providers that deliver alcohol in addition to food deliveries. So think about when you order your groceries online, you may have the option to purchase alcoholic beverages as well. And individuals who offer same-day delivery in New South Wales and any other businesses that offer same-day alcohol delivery to the public. So there are a few options here. Have a think about it. Think about the types of roles that you might need your RSAT. So we've talked about the instances where you would need an RSAT, so let's talk about what RSAT is. You've heard me say it so many times today already, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. What is RSAT? RSAT is the responsible supply of alcohol training. A worker who delivers alcohol in New South Wales on the same day of purchase is required to hold an RSAT, regardless of where in Australia the alcohol purchase was made. This means if I order beer from Perth but I live in New South Wales, the delivery person must hold their RSAT. So holding your RSAT also applies to delivery of packaged alcohol to other licensed businesses, delivery of alcohol to a person on the same day in other Australian states as long as it was purchased in New South Wales, and delivery of alcohol to a person in New South Wales on the same day it is purchased regardless of the state or territory from which it was purchased. So have a think about it, guys. When do you think that you might be applicable to these situations? I guess it all comes down to the type of job role you might have, or maybe you're the purchaser. There's a few things to consider. Compliance with RSAT might seem scary, but I'm here to tell you that there are actually many benefits of having an RSAT, so let's talk about it. Delivery service providers have the benefit of lower compliance issues, less incidents of harm, reduced staff turnover, and with a good reputation, the service provider will attract drivers with great experience. Delivery people who hold their RSAT will have solid knowledge and skills to safely and responsibly supply alcohol to customers. They will know where it is safe to deliver and supply alcohol, and because of their knowledge and skills, they will create rapport with their customers. Holding your RSAT also means knowing what to look for when providing the delivery and supply of alcohol to customers. This means looking for signs of minors on the premise where the alcohol is being supplied to, as well as being alert to harmful activities occurring at the delivery site. Remember, a minor is someone who is under the legal drinking age of 18. Right, so by now you're probably aware that by holding an RSAT, there are certain rules and regulations that you must follow. So let's talk about compliance with the law. Now, when you are responsible for the same-day delivery of alcohol in New South Wales, you are required to be compliant. Compliance with the law can seem scary, however, the purpose is to ensure the safety of those consuming the alcohol, supplying the alcohol, as well as minimizing the risk and harm associated with alcohol. These laws apply to RSAT to ensure the safe sale and delivery of alcohol. So these are some of the authorities that play a role in managing the liquor industry in New South Wales. New South Wales Police, Independent Liquor and Gaming Authority, and Liquor and Gaming New South Wales. You're probably wondering, what do these bodies have to do with all of this? So let's get into it in the next slide. Enforcement. If a law has been breached, Liquor and Gaming New South Wales and the New South Wales Police are required to investigate what has occurred. To determine the severity of the breach, they will make inquiries, gather evidence, and work with other governing bodies to determine what has happened. RSAT is designed to support the safe delivery of same-day supply of alcohol, so failure to comply with the law can result in massive penalties. These penalties can affect the individual delivery driver, licensee, or the delivery service provider. Breaching the liquor laws, such as making same-day deliveries to a minor or an intoxicated person, could result in heavy penalties, losing your job, or losing your livelihood. Penalties for offences under the liquor laws can cost up to $11,000 for delivery drivers and their employers and $27,500 for corporations. It's just not worth it. We're heading towards the end of section 1. Let's talk about demerit points. The incentives and demerit points system provides incentives for responsible service providers and applies demerit points as sanctions. The system makes it easier for you to understand and comply with your obligations under the liquor laws. Under the incentives and demerit point system, demerit points may also be imposed on the licensee. This means a liquor license can be suspended or cancelled. Selling or supplying alcohol to an intoxicated person attracts double demerit points. RSAT holders that make avoidable mistakes could cost their employer demerit points, and although the delivery driver can't be fired for non-delivery due to reasonable suspicion of intoxication, if they incur demerit points for their boss, it is likely they won't keep their jobs. So it's very important to follow these rules.